rare and balanced view on politics in today's world. Based on facts, born of rationality, common sense, and logic, providing context on today's events. This is American Perspective with Rick Thomas.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to American Perspective. I am your host. On time this time, Rick. You know, one time I'm late, after 5 years. One time I'm late, and all I hear is grief. I know you guys are expecting it when you have a track record like that. Boy, I'll tell you. You set the expectations and the bar really, really high. And unfortunately, last night I failed to clear it. But that's okay. We're back. It's Friday. It's heading into the weekend. And it's been one long week. I will tell you that much. Hopefully everybody else has had a really good day and really good week. But, yeah, heading off into the weekend. Although the weekends are too short. I don't know who came up with the idea that you work 5 days, you're off 2 days. That just didn't seem very fair. I don't know who came up with that. Actually, I think I do. I think it was Henry Ford. But, anyway. All right. You know, it's interesting that when you say something, especially to a leftist, about, you know what? There are just some cultures that will not mix and should not mix. You're immediately tagged with all kinds of names. You're xenophobic, you're racist, you're whatever. I mean, they come up with all kinds of new words all the time. And yet the reality of it is that yes, there are some cultures that really aren't compatible. They're not compatible to mix with each other. I got something for you tonight on that. We also have a little bit of updates on some, it's not happening, but it's good that it is files. In terms of election integrity. And, yeah. Oh, anyway, stick around. Let's go ahead and get things kicked off tonight. Is Mama Five Kitties is up for tonight's Pledge of Allegiance. So if you are of mine, please stand or remove your hat if you're wearing one, like me. Place your hand over your heart and follow along with Mama Five Kitties as she recites the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
And, of course, I thank you, Mama Five Kitties, for that wonderful rendition of the pledge. If you would like to hear your rendition of the pledge played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself reciting or performing the pledge in your style. Take that audio file, video file, whatever kind of file, and attach it to an email. Send that email off to me. Address that to fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online, and I will get you into the rotation. If you use your phone, don't forget to utilize the share option. That's the S-H-A-R-E option. Utilize the share option, and you'll be able to send it to the same place. Fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. I have 25 of these items. I would love to get 26 by the end of 2026. So if you have not done so, it would be fantastic if you would and get it in, and I'll get you into the rotation as quickly as possible. Alrighty, folks, tonight's headline sponsor is, I'm wearing one of their wonderful shirts. I'm wearing one of their performance shirts. Yeah, it's probably a golf gear shirt would be my guess, but it is theflagshirt.com. That's right. Theflagshirt.com is where you can go to pick up all kinds of patriotic styles Men's, women's, made in the USA, kids, accessories, all decked out in the red, white, and blue and other patriotic symbolism that you'll see. You will often see me wearing, almost always, see me wearing the men's cotton polos. I love those. Very comfortable, true to size. They don't shrink. They don't fade. They're very comfortable shirts, and I certainly love them. They have all kinds of patriotic pictures, like the Liberty Bell, Lincoln, the Lincoln Memorial, and of course they have depictions of the Constitution, the We the People part of the Constitution. Flags, eagles, all kinds of stuff that they have available. And you can get them all at theflagshirt.com. And if you order $75 or more of their product, you will receive free shipping from them. And trust me, folks, this shipping is really good. They are based out of Florida, and I am based out of Washington. So obviously I am about as far away in the lower 48 contiguous states as you can possibly be from Florida, and I can get my order within a week, within 1 week. And they are really, really good about that. So head on over to theflagshirt.com, peruse their styles, make an order, maybe get all the way to $75 to get that free shipping. And believe me, you'll be so happy and thankful for your patriotic clothing or accessories. Head on over to theflagshirt.com and get yourself patriotized. Alrighty. Well, a couple of ordered items here first. You know, that Trump ballroom has gone back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, in court, out of court, in court, out of court. Do it, don't do it. You can do it. No, you can't. Over and over and over again. And it's finally hit the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court Justice has finally done something right. I'm very critical of John Roberts. Seriously, I am critical of him because he is not the staunch conservative, strict constitutionalist, originalist that I love in terms of Thomas and Alito. He's stabbed us in the back a few times, Chief Justice Roberts has. But this time, he hasn't done so. The Supreme Court Chief Justice decided today that, well, you know what? I'm going to pause the block on the White House ballroom construction. It can go ahead at this point in time, at least until John Roberts says, well, yeah, now it can't. Or the Supreme Court says, yeah, no, it's not going to move forward. So construction can continue for now. Yeah. For now. And we're okay with that. So, and that was today. He said that the Trump administration can proceed with the construction of the new White House ballroom. The brief order paused the preliminary injunction that had been entered by a U.S. district judge and upheld by a federal appeals court. Now, the lower court order is hereby stayed pending further order of the Chief Justice or of the court, Roberts said, granting an appeal from the Trump administration. So, yep. Now, the cost of the planned 90,000 square foot ballroom began in 2025. The cost has been pegged at around $400 million. And the entire financing is coming from private donors. So I don't understand where this is a bit of a problem. The guy is enhancing security. He's enhancing the ability of the White House to host all kinds of state dinners and things of that nature. Yeah. So, anyway, well, we'll see what happens. Again, it's only a moment's pause. Realistically, until something else can get figured out. Well, Dr. Joe Biden, the doctor of all doctors. Well, at least she was during the Biden administration. She was the doctor of all doctors, the doctor that could be higher than any other doctor in any other doctoral way, being a doctor. Yeah, all she was a PhD in education. She wasn't an actual doctor. Well, she still thinks that Joe Biden is, sentient, and that he really should have done much better in the debate. Now, she's grasping at straws here, people. She really is. She's grasping at straws. She's sitting here now saying that, well, you know, remember now, this is a story. Okay. When Joe first came off the stage, she was like, Joe, you did such a great job. I was so impressed. I loved it. You were just so great. You answered every question. It was just fantastic. Then after he got ousted, she was just like, you know, I was so concerned when he got off the stage. And I thought he might have had a stroke or something. I was just so worried for his health. Yeah. Well, now she is like, you know, it's entirely possible that Joe Biden was drugged when he was on that stage. So apparently she was on a podcast, and the podcast host, Jamie Kern Lima, I don't know, asked her if a stroke had been ruled out by doctors on the night of the night of the debate. And Joe Biden responded, well, they did. They said, I mean, I didn't say to them when I was writing my book, but I was reflecting. But I didn't say, God, did Joe have a stroke? I just said, is he okay? Is he okay? Lima asked the former First Lady what her gut told her had happened. And Joe Biden goes, I don't know. She goes, I mean, there's all kinds of theories, you know? He had been traveling. I knew he was tired. But he didn't feel well that day when I saw him. But there was nothing definitive that I could point to. She goes, and I had been on the road for 2 weeks up until the moment, so I wasn't with him. I didn't see him for days before, weeks before. I saw him maybe 1 hour before. Complaining. Yeah, here's the world's smallest violin there, sweetheart. Yeah. Anyway, Lima actually is the one that suggested it. Lima goes, there's no way anyone could have, God forbid, laced his drink or something. Who knows? Jill says. Yeah. Still trying to find ways to protect Joe Biden from just being, one, an awful person, and two, that he might have a mental problem, more so than just being an evil guy. He just won't give it up. I don't know why. They just can't. Look, I got a suggestion for you. Be like Ronald. Be like Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, after he was done, rode off in the sunset, gave a stellar, just like all of his speeches were really, really good, he gave a stellar speech as a farewell address. He said goodbye, good night, Gracie, rode off to his place in the California hills, go back to his ranch, And when he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, they admitted it. And they basically said, yes, he's been diagnosed. He has Alzheimer's, so on and so forth. I mean, why can't you just admit that? The guy, he's been non-compos mentis for several years now, prior to potentially even his being in office. But I think what it is if they were to go and admit that, then that would throw some serious shade on things like all of the auto pen pardons. Yeah, that was a Freudian slip. Auto pen pardons that he put together. Because they're still in question. I mean, we're still wondering, was he even present? And if he was present, did he even know what he was having the machine sign for him? Well, I guarantee you there's not a single person that can question whether or not Donald Trump's signature is the auto pen. Half the time he's signing it in front of everybody anyway on the camera. See, this is the real signature. And he does it in his, signature Sharpie style. So, yeah. There's no question at all when an order or executive order or any pardons or anything like that come out from Donald J. Trump. It's him. It's him. So, anyway. All right. Well, I want to talk a second or two about this idea of xenophobia. All right. Now, xenophobia. Oh, sorry. Before I move on. Yes, Bonnie, that is exactly true. Trust me, my signature, man, you're lucky that you even recognize it's a signature. It looks like a 5-year-old is scribbling on a piece of paper. My signature is horrible. But engineers and technical people and all that, and doctors, usually have really bad signatures. So I'm not worried about it. Now, my stepfather, may he rest in peace, had the most perfect signature I think I've ever seen. He could sign it on any kind of piece of paper, any kind of card, any kind, it didn't matter. It was always, you could take a ruler, guaranteed. You could take a ruler, you could lay it on either the top or the bottom. It would be completely in line. All of the letters would be perfect in both angle and height. Zero change. In fact, if you were to take his signature and hand it over to like a handwriting expert, they probably would think that it was done by a forger or whatever. It was that exact. And he could do it every single time. He could do it every single time. It was impressive. I haven't seen that in a very long time. Hardly at all. In fact, most of the time, and honestly, I've never even seen a man who was able to do that. Women, okay. Women I get, at least, I get those. Women get have that perfection kind of scenario, but man, whew. And I asked him about it one time, and he told me that it was, we're way off the track here, so I gotta. Anyway, and I asked him about it one time, and he's like, oh, you don't know. He goes, I lived in a community where my aunts were the ones that were teaching us everything. We had the proverbial and literal one-room schoolhouse for quite some time. And all of my aunts and my mom were like the teachers and the principal and so on and so forth. He said, yeah, they made me do that. They would have you do lines, and you had to have it perfect every time, and you practiced it. And if you went outside the lines or outside the angle, you would get whacked by a ruler on the back of the hand or whatever it was. I mean, it was like, this is some serious, real deal education here. And so, anyway, he ended up having it that perfect. But there you go. That's how you do things. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes, xenophobia. Well, xenophobia is the fear, by definition, is the fear and hatred of strangers or foreigners or of anything that is strange or foreign. And I got to tell you, for all you leftists out there who sit there and think, hey, if you're objectionable to anything that is strange or foreign to you, you are xenophobic. Okay, great. But I got to tell you, after some of the things that I've seen in this world and after some of the things that we are experiencing here in the United States over the course of the past, we'll say 10 to 15 years, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I will be fearful of things that are strange or foreign or foreigners when I have a reason to. Now, people are going to look at me and they're going to be like, oh my God, you actually admitted that on camera? Well, yeah, of course I did. Of course I did. Because of the plain and simple fact, when you have to tell people whom you are bringing into your country, when you have to tell them, hey, look, there are certain parts of our culture that do not mix or are incompatible with yours, and so therefore you need to adjust and change, maybe that person doesn't need to be in the culture. The government should just say, you know what? We're not going to do it. Take a look. This is happening over in England, UK, well, in the UK, United Kingdom. According to the BBC, asylum seekers have to be told that rape and harassment is illegal. They have this booklet that they hand out to refugees and asylum seekers that are coming into the UK, and they have to be told, hey, things like, it's illegal to harass people. In the UK, everyone has the right to feel safe in public. You must never make sexual comments to strangers, even as a compliment. Approach someone repeatedly if they are not interested. Follow someone or block their path. Okay. Yeah, all right. I think it's kind of weird that somebody would do that, but but further down, it's a 9-page, by the way, 9-page online booklet. But farther down, check this out. They have to be told literally. Oh, let me move it up. Shoot. Yes. Sometimes this can be frustrating. Anyway, they have to be told, hey, domestic abuse is illegal. In the UK, it is illegal to hurt, threaten, or control your partner or family. This includes hitting, pushing, or any physical violence, threatening or verbal abuse, controlling their money or where they go, honor-based violence or abuse. Oh, who do you think they're focused on with that? I'm just saying. Who do you think they're talking about there? And here's another page right next to it. It says, in the UK, both people must say yes to sex. Oh. If you have sex with someone who does not want to, this is called rape. Rape is a serious crime. It is still rape if you are married to the person or in a relationship. It is still rape if they agreed once but changed their mind. Now, here's the thing that really, they have to explain this. If you have sex without consent, you could go to prison. This will affect your asylum claim. Then it goes on and says, hey, here's the places if you've been raped, this is where you can get help. And they list like telephone numbers and so on and so forth. First of all, do you honestly believe that anybody who comes from a culture that believes that, for an example, women are property, that you can have sex with them any time you want, that even men can go around, find a woman, rape them, and the woman has to find two, not just be the witness, not just be the one reporting the crime, but has to find two males to back her up before there's even question as to whether or not she got raped. You honestly believe that a culture that comes with that kind of setup is going to bother reading this pamphlet and go, yeah, okay, that just works. Sure. I'm sorry. And even, married. Oh my God. If my wife, this is understandably not me, but if my wife were to sit there and, say that she was going to say no to my advances and I just went ahead and took it anyway because that's my job as the man, do you honestly think that they're going to read this pamphlet and be like, oh yeah, I got to change that? Folks, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know what the hell to tell you here. There are some cultures that things that they do are strictly verboten, pardon my German, here in America or in any Western culture. I mean, could you imagine us importing a tribe? That tribe practices cannibalism? Do you honestly think that that would be acceptable here? That, hey, we're going to bring the whole tribe in, and the whole tribe, and you know what? The tribe is a refugee. They're going to get refugee status. And we're going to make sure that they have everything that they need. We're going to give them everything. We're going to give them clothes. We're going to give them food. We're going to give them housing. We're going to give them money. We're going to give them all. And we're going to give it all to them. And then all of a sudden, they go around killing people because that's how they live. They kill people for food. Yeah. Oh, and don't forget the whole Haitian thing. This is the part that... Don't forget the whole Haitian thing. Yeah, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Yeah, okay. There are some cultures that actually eat animals that we in the Western world consider to be pets. This is a cultural problem. This whole idea that the entire world, can live in peace and harmony together. There are some cultures that do not want this. They don't want it. They have no desire to change. This is all that they know, meaning, raping, beating, having sex with anything and anyone that wants, they have their culture. They've been raised in it. That's the way that they live. For us to go over and imagine or bring these people, worse yet, bring these people here to the Western world and be like, well, you know what? Our way is better. And we're going to bring you in and we're going to culturalize you. And you're going to do what we say. Read this pamphlet. Everything in this pamphlet is important. And you've got to follow it. Yeah, they're going to give you the big old double-barreled, not so family friendly middle finger. Yeah. See, the whole concept of immigration, in the idea of Americanism in particular, because let's face it, this is a fantastic place to go. It is a fantastic place to live. It is a fantastic place to get together, raise children, make all kinds of money. You have all kinds of opportunity here and all kinds of places and things, and just, I mean, the standard of living is so much higher than everybody else. This is a exceptional place, even with all of our, you know, warts and scars and black eyes that we've got going on right now. But the fact of the matter is, there are people and cultures who do not want to be a part of this. They have literally no desire to be here. And even if they did have the desire, some of them are here just to simply destroy it. But yet, according to our leftist opponents on the other side, we are expected to just welcome these people in with open arms and be like, hey, we're going to convert you. Yeah. That's why there's that tribe, I think it's in South America, that no white man has ever been. And in fact, it's an island, if I recall correctly. And you go to that island, you could get into trouble by the government. The island itself is off limits because there is a tribe there, and they happen to be cannibals. There's a tribe there that wants nothing to do with the outside world. See, I almost think that America in particular, and actually most of the Western world, should adopt the prime directive from Star Trek, which is essentially, do not do anything that will alter the course of that society or that culture. In other words, don't get seen when you go down there. Don't do anything. You cannot be seen. You cannot be, you can't interact with them, so on and so forth. The prime directive. I don't remember. I'm just paraphrasing it from, what little I did watch of like Star Trek, but that was the rule. If you ended up going to a planet that had never seen anyone traveling amongst the stars, you don't show yourself. You definitely don't do anything to try and influence them in any way. Now, of course, on the show, it happened all the time, but but the point is the prime directive was there. It was supposed to keep you from doing that stuff. Anyway, this is what we need to do. We need to stop with this idea that we can just bring people into America and everything will be hunky-dory. We'll be singing Kumbaya by the fire. They'll adopt all of our Western ways because, our Western ways are so much better than their backwoods third world kind of culture. And they'll just willingly accept everything that we do. And within one generation, we'll have a whole new culture to adopt into this melting pot that we call America. Yeah. There are people out there who do not want this. They don't want this. And there's no reason, none whatsoever, no reason as to why we should even bother forcing it on people. Or better yet, that our government should actually be attempting to bring these people in here and try to get them to assimilate. Folks, I'm talking about Somalians. Their culture, stealing from the government is fine. It's okay. In fact, it's even expected. And then we here in America, in the Western world, are like, oh my God, Somalians, they stole, millions of dollars, and that was wrong. And they stole millions, and we're going to try them. And so. Why? Because, again, their culture, that is typical. That is typical. Or you have these Muslims. And believe me, again, realistically, based on all of the data, there is no true moderate Muslim, okay? There isn't one. They may say that they are, but they're not. I'm telling you. They are not. Their whole culture is one thing and one thing only, and that is to follow the tenets of Islam no matter what, and that Islam will take over the world. There you go. I just gave you pretty much everything in the Quran. And whatever you do, whatever you want to do, in order to achieve those goals, as long as your heart is pure, doesn't matter anything of what you do. It doesn't matter. As long as your heart is pure and you're going after the goal, you're done. There you go. Okay? Now, if you think that the left, that these DSA idiots and the rest of the leftist lunatics in the Democrat Party are not going to do that, all you have to do, you want to see where we're at? Here in America, all you have to do is just look over to Europe. Seriously, whatever. It's kind of like if you want to see what communism looks like, just look toward any Democrat-run state here in America. You want to see what the American, if they were to take over the federal government, you want to see what the federal government would look like, all you have to do is look at California, or look at New York, or look at Washington, or Oregon, or Illinois, or any of those leftist lunatic states, any one of them. And for this kind of thing, you want to see what multiculturalism is, bringing in all these people who really and truly, their culture and our culture do not mix. They just don't. And what are you doing? Well, take a look at this. Labor confirms plan to spread migrants all over Britain. Yeah. All of those people, they're going to have to print up like billions of those freaking pamphlets. British Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood has confirmed government plans to spread illegal migrant settlements across the country, supposedly to ensure that no type of community is bearing the brunt. The brunt of what? Paying for this stuff? Seriously? Yeah. Apparently this woman is the rough equivalent to the U.S. Homeland Security Secretary, and she announced the government aims to achieve a so-called fair spread of illegal migrants across the UK. Mahmoud said that the government aims to avoid one community or one type of community being overburdened with potentially dangerous, largely unvetted migrants seeking asylum. Hey, I got an idea for you. I really do. Hello, pay attention. Pay attention here. I got an idea. How about you just don't take them in the first place? How about you realize that these people don't need to be in Western culture? How about you quit trying to import this globalist idea that everybody on the planet is going to all be the same, this utopia, again, Star Trek, this Star Trek utopia that everybody is going to be the same. You know, this whole idea, Gene Roddenberry's idea started off with, humans going into the stars, and then they met the Klingons, and the Klingons were our enemies, as well as the Romulans, and then all of a sudden the Klingons became part of the Federation, and everybody just assimilated happily, and then you had all these other, different alien species all running together. But one thing I do note, the Romulans never actually joined. The Romulans never actually joined. Maybe we should take a clue here that not everybody wants Western culture. Not everybody wants to have the stuff that we have. Okay? Not everybody wants all of this. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the Borg. 3 Chevy. We're just dating ourselves here. But anyway, the Borg did not assimilate. That's right. G points out the Romulan Star Empire. Anyway, not everybody wants this. Not everybody wants this. And so, folks, I'm just saying, quit with this idea that everybody has to live harmoniously together in one big happy family. We can be separate. We can be different. That's what America is all about. If you look at other countries, there's other countries out there who don't value individualism as much as America does. There's people out there in other countries that don't value God-given, Judeo-Christian, God-given rights. They do not belong in this culture. Now, if they're from that culture and they come here and they say, you know what? We shed everything that we believe in because we want a better life for ourselves. Come on in. Come on in. You're not going to be the same as your brethren that you left. It's not going to happen. See, that's the point of the melting pot, is that you come over here, you get rid of all of the bad that you are leaving behind in your culture, and you're coming here and bringing your good stuff, and we're working together. Okay? And maybe part of your culture gets brought into ours, and it becomes a significant piece of the American culture. Who knows? But that's the whole point of the melting pot. That has nothing to do with being xenophobic. It really isn't. It has nothing to do with being racist. It's just simply asking the question of everybody who is coming here, are you willing to give up your old life, your old belief systems and everything else in order to have what we have here? And if you are, then we're okay. You can come in. You can enjoy the spoils and the fruits of the Western world and being inside the greatest country that has ever existed on this planet. But if you have no interest in doing so, looking at you, Dearborn, Michigan, then you need to get the hell out. Because we don't want your there to become our here. See, you left there to come here so you didn't have to live there. And since you no longer want to live there, why do you want to bring there here? And turn here into there? Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm going to take a quick break. This is interesting. I don't usually do this very often, but I'm going to do it anyway. Just because of the fact that I can. You know, Mrs. Whiskey has been trying to get me to say yes, dear, for 30 some odd years. Oh, she also yelled at me because apparently I don't fold clothes the same way, shirts in particular, the same way that she does, and it irritates the hell out of her. I wish it was 1775 coffee, but it's not. It's actually TGRN. That's right. True Grit Roots Network. That's what TGRN stands for. Find us on the web at tgrn.net. Listen now to our featured channel, our headliner, our boss, Burning Rockin' Radio, where rock still burns. Go and check it out. Head on over to tgrn.net. You can listen right through your browser. Take a look. We're playing Molly Hatchet right now. It's all over now. Over on Burner. You can also check out our other signature channel, Dallas Moore Outlaw Radio. If you're into outlaw country and blues-ish stuff, go over there and check that one out. By the way, Sundays on both channels. Sundays is Blues Days on both. Okay? Yes, that's right, G, the apps that are stitched together like a patriotic volume. Anyway, Head on over to tgrn.net or check out the app stores. You can download our app. We have one for each channel. Go and check out the App Store or the Google Play Store and download BRNR, standing for Burning Rock and Radio, or the Dallas Moore Outlaw Radio, both by TGRN. Go and check them out today. Take a listen to both stations, and I'm telling you, man, burner. Yeah, if you're a Gen Xer, if you're anywhere from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even the early 2000s, if you like anything that has a guitar as like the main instrument in front, you got to check out Burner. You got to check out Burner. And if you like old style outlaw country, the original Waylon Jennings, the original Johnny Cash, those kinds of folks, you can go and check out Dallas Moore Outlaw Radio. Dallas also has a show there. Dallas himself has a show there and plays a lot of his music, and we play his music at least once an hour. And you can go and check that out. Go and download one of our apps today. We'd appreciate it. That's right. Okay. So, yes, Willie Nelson too. Yeah, we play Willie Nelson. We play all of the old time. I mean, there's like Travis, old time Travis Tritt. I think Randy Travis. I may have heard some of his. George Strait. I think I've heard some of his stuff. Even like going farther back, like C.W. McCall and Red Sylvine and some of the other guys from like way back in the day. That I've heard some of that being played as well. So, yeah. Go and check it all out. TGRN.net, that stands for True Grit Roots Network, based out of Austin, Texas. All right. Yeah. Oops. My news says that her husband stopped putting dishes in the dishwasher because I wouldn't change it. You know what? That is common. Here in this house, I am in the same way. Seriously. I have zero desire to do the dishes because for a while there I was critiqued on how I did the dishes. And I finally got done and I said, look, I'm finished. You're going to sit here and critique the way that I do it. I'm not going to do it anymore. And I didn't for several years. I've started picking it back up now because my wife, I think, realized that she lost it or lost the battle. But anyway, I better be careful. She might actually be listening and then bring home some food that's poisoned. All right, let's move on here. There's a reason why we don't want these people as a part of our culture. There's a reason why we don't want these people in this country. And this is a really good reason why. Here in Just the News, 3 states, 3 deaths. There's illegal aliens, and this is ICE doing its job. ICE arrests illegal aliens charged in a fatal crash, a capsizing, and a stabbing. Yeah. Yep. Seriously. Anyway. Ooh. Okay, Bam, remind me tomorrow night. Also, too, yeah, I'm watching the chat. Sorry. Also, too, here's another reason. Yeah, these people are, you know what? This whole idea of being like a globalist country, yeah, this really doesn't help either. There's a woman that was allegedly planning to kill state politicians in the New York state capitol and flee to Syria after she pledged support to ISIS. What the hell? Now, this is a woman who lived here. She converted and then pledged her life to ISIS. Oh, goodness. And the FBI were the ones that foiled it. Yep. Her name, well, I won't say it because I don't like giving people their 15 minutes of fame or whatever it is. She was from Albany, New York. She's 35 years old. She was formally charged on August 20th with attempting to provide material support to a designated foreign terrorist organization, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. The FBI discovered and stopped the alleged plot. It included a plan to kill senators. She was essentially, my understanding was she was going to deploy a explosive device. She was going to dress up as a door dasher and carry the bomb in the bag. Anyway, Hochul, of course, was grateful that the FBI and the New York State Police made the arrest. The state, strengthened security at the Capitol. That was the New York City Capitol, or New York State Capitol, sorry. And across the New York government after a rise in violence and threats against public officials this year. She says, well, there is no immediate threat at this time. We will continue working closely with our law enforcement partners to protect New Yorkers and keep our communities safe. Yeah. This woman converted to Islam about 5 years ago and adopted the Islamic name, and I'm not going to say it. Anyway, she also used social media to spread anti-American messages using dozens of profiles. And between May and July, prosecutors said that several of her accounts praised Allah for 9/11. Okay. And we have a guy by the name of El Sayed who did the exact same thing, that America deserved 9/11. The Hassan Piker says the exact same thing. Yeah. Anyway. Nothing is happening, but it's good that it is files. There was a voter impersonation scheme that was going on in Massachusetts. And according to the city, it was a Chinese national. You remember how I was telling you how all those Chinese nationals were coming here, dropping their babies to get them U.S. citizenship and then going back to China to indoctrinate them over there? Anyway, this guy, so there's a ballot that federal prosecutors alleged was cast by a Chinese national using his former landlord's identity, and it was included, by the way, in the Massachusetts City certified 2024 election count, according to the city clerk. The city clerk from Malden told the Epoch Times, yes, the ballot was processed as every other and was counted in the final certified vote. Really? I thought voter fraud wasn't happening. I thought illegals or other nationals, non-citizens, weren't voting in elections. We had everything all tied up. No. Remember all that? SAVE Act isn't needed. No, it's not. Yeah, right. Oh, and by the way, more news out of New Jersey. You remember that whole thing with the New Jersey governor where she admitted that there was like 6,600 and that were illegals that were on the voter rolls, and that many of them, I will never, ever use that phrase. I'm sorry. Anyway, the phrase was called out as undocumented. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that. If I do, it's a mistake. Anyway, apparently now we have more information coming out of New Jersey. 220 non-citizens had a literal history of voting in New Jersey. You remember how the governor was saying, oh, yeah, it's a registration glitch. Everything's okay. You know, it was on the software company. They're the ones that had the problem. No. Now we have proof. It can't just be a software glitch. 220 non-citizens actually did vote in their elections, according to this piece in the Daily Caller. Yeah, Mikey Sherrill? You're wrong. She announced this Wednesday, by the way. So, yeah. And by the way, those 220 non-citizens that did vote, they joined 5,100 others who have been removed from the voter rolls after it was revealed that they were not only able to register to vote during an alleged computer glitch. It's not a computer glitch. But anyway, yeah. So there you go. Yeah. Voting isn't happening by illegals, or by non-citizens, I should say. Voting isn't happening by non-citizens, but it's good that it's happening by non-citizens. All right. Last thing, if you seriously think that AOC and Bernie Sanders are like the farthest left that you could possibly go, that everybody who is on the left would go and back those people, especially AOC, for like a presidential run, well, I got some information for you here. Right here, Fox News. AOC blasted as too moderate. Oh my God, AOC is too moderate for these people? That's right, there's a DSA faction known as the Maoist DSA faction. And as 2028 presidential hopes keep floating in the air for AOC, well, they are basically like, yeah, we're probably not going to vote for her. She's too moderate. We want somebody that's much more farther left. Yeah, you don't think that the socialists are taking over this country or trying to take over this country? Oh my gosh. Apparently, the Marxist-Leninist Maoist caucus called AOC a opportunistic dilettante over her stance on Palestine and policing. Yeah. Seriously. What? Even the DSA doesn't like her? Oh, wow. Yeah, the DSA Liberation Caucus wrote in a statement, Liberation condemns AOC's continued retreat from socialist politics and rejects any effort to present her as the future presidential standard bearer for the DSA or for the broader socialist movement. She's not left enough for them. Now, how the hell do you figure that? I mean, seriously, she's not leftist enough for them. Wow. Wow. All right, before we end the night, I want to say thank you to Ms. T. Ms. T just gifted 5 subscriptions to some of my listeners over on Rumble. It's a random draw. 3 Chevy's already gotten one, so he turned from the white background over to pink. That was cool. And I'm waiting for the rest of them to come flooding in here. But yeah. Do appreciate it. There it is, the 5 subscriptions. I wish I could show it on the screen here, but it doesn't seem to be compatible with the chat program that I'm popping. Rumble is being very slow, I guess, in terms of the chat for this. But there we go. There's the ba-dum. I usually wait for that. So 3 Chevy, Becky from the land down under, the matriarch, Bonnie, and Bam, and G were all gifted memberships or subscriptions for the next month. So there you go. Yeah, you want to know all about that? Head on over to rumble.com. Get yourself an account. It is free. And once you are signed up and signed in, you'll be able to do stuff like that. And also, don't forget to search up the American Perspective channel and hit that green follow button to get notified whenever I go live. Also, too, don't forget, I have other streaming platforms as well. Go and check out pilled.net, Pilled.net. Check that one out. Red pill is good, or thumbs up. Blue pill is bad, or thumbs down. We will see you tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific. One hour later. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Right here on American Perspective. Oh, Cocoa to Whiskey got picked up. That was so nice of Ms. T. There you go. Timing is everything. Anyway, we will see you tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on American Perspective. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night, everybody.